Hey there, thank you for watching the channel or on Facebook. And if you don't mind, just hit that subscribe button or the like button or both. That'll help me out building the channel. Just a quick update here. I've my generator room, if you will, my electrical panel, my Blue Eddy box, and that's my alternate DC current coming in, separate line for the solar panels. So I have a redundant system. But what I'm doing, I've got these older lead acid batteries, not super old for one of them, May 2020. This one's 817, so that's what, 7 years old. It's way up there. It's a grandfather as far as the battery life goes. So what I did, I ordered 4 new batteries, but they got a good review. They're VMAX, charge tank. Sounds pretty important. So I'm disconnected these, and I'm going to connect these in parallel, so it'll keep it at 12 volts. And I'm going to wire it into my existing charge controller and my existing inverter. Got this from Harbor Freight a few years ago. This is in addition to my other units which are inside the house. Those are LiFePO, the lithium iron phosphate batteries, and that's an all-in-one unit that has the charge controller, the inverter, and the battery bank all in one. So this is a separate system. So I'm going to go ahead and just what I want to do with this connector, this goes into my DC circuit in my my fuse panel, and it's just a quick disconnect in case I want to take everything off, and I just unplug it like a cigarette lighter, and that goes into the fuse panel. So I've got a couple of these connectors left. Hope I don't screw it up. Sometimes these crimps they don't work so well. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. On there, and and it makes a good connection, and that's going to connect to the battery. The other one, oh, it's not that good. Better. So we got the male end and the female end, and it's basically just a cigarette lighter, and that one end is going to go into the batteries, and this end goes up into my fuse panel for my DC currents. That's control some lights. What else? My cell phone booster is on there. So not a lot. Oh, and also that bathroom fan that I put in between the living room and the bathroom. So there's not a lot on there. But what I can also do, if power requirements are such, this is also tied into my inverter, so I can run all the house current on this if I need to, in addition to my other system that I have. It seems to work. The other thing I actually did this the other night, Sunday night, when I was listening to the Super Bowl. Yeah, listening. I wasn't watching. Don't have TV. So I can connect these batteries to one another. I made these little pigtails, red and a black one. Black will obviously go on the negative, and the red will go on the positive. And I've got 4 of them, so I have 3 of the pigtails to go between them. Now I made sure I cut them the same length. Each one is pretty much exactly the same length. I read a while ago that it's best to have all the batteries, going to connect them in parallel like this, to have the wires the same length so the resistance is exactly the same between the batteries. Otherwise, one battery may not charge as much. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it's just easy to make these all the same size. So I'm going to go and connect those. Okay, well, that was pretty easy, just a little finagling with the screws. But the battery bank, the 4 batteries, brand new, all wired in parallel. So basically it's acting as one big battery. The 12 volts coming out, and the 12 volts coming out is going, where's it going? It's going to my DC circuit, right? And also these big lines here, you want a big, I think this is a 2-gauge wire. You want a big gauge wire going from your battery bank up to your inverter. DC doesn't play that well because it's low voltage, so it needs a big wire in order to carry that current effectively. And it's only about a 2-foot run, but the thicker the wire, the better. And then I have these wires here going into the charge controller. So I've got my power coming in here. This is a pulse switch, a cutoff switch, and that's coming in from 500 watts of solar panels dedicated to the DC circuit. That goes down into the charge controller. And you can see we're at 13 volts right now. The sun's going down kind of off the panel, but it got 13 volts in the battery bank, so that's good. They're well charged. And what this does is keep the batteries from getting overcharged. So it regulates it, and then the charge comes in here, regulates it in the box, and then the output goes down here into the batteries. And then once it's fully charged, then it shuts off and no more current flows into the batteries, because you don't want to overcharge your batteries and you don't want to discharge them too much either. So the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to plug in my power to the inverter to see if that's all working. So have I lost you yet? I go to my Blue Eddy. This is my service panel, the breakers, regular breaker panel. But what's different here is I switched from my Blue Eddy units on the left, and I have to switch them to the right. And that's whenever I use my inverter or if I use my generator. All right, so in order to get the power out of the inverter into the house current, this is wired into the service panel. It's not ideal right now. This is a 12-2 wire in my hand here. It was plenty, and I don't really run a lot of electricity in the house. If I did, I'd want something more substantial. So I'll plug this in here to the inverter. But the other thing I can do is plug it into this outlet. The wire coming into this outlet comes from the generator. So this way it prevents me from accidentally having the two things on, which would not be good to have both the inverter and generator going into the system. So there's no way, this is foolproof. There's no way I can screw this up and forget. What I want to do is have like an A-B switch. So there's, I either have one or the other, but I just haven't done that yet. All right, so that's plugged in. It's ready to go, I think. So I'll switch the inverter on. Green light is on, that's good. And I'll go into the house and see if it's working. All right, let there be light. And there was light. All right, so I got 4 brand new batteries powering the house now. It's all on the inverter. I can switch back to my Blue Eddy units. I got some good charge today. There's a lot of sunshine, which hat head. Plenty of sunshine today. I think I charged up to 36% on my Blue Eddy LifePo batteries, which is awesome because that'll give me even without any more sunshine, I could probably squeeze 3 or 4 days of power usage out of that. And I can kind of nurse it and use like 4 or 5% per day, a little bit more if I'm running more lights or my music or whatever. So there you go. Today's project, my after work project. Yeah, after school project. So this is an after work project. Have a good evening.